gets better. But then one day, Mother didn't get better. And she died. Oh, we were so sad. What do we do without our mother? Little boys and little girls need a mother, not just a father. They need a mother to help them out, to feed them, to help with their homework. Because Father's working. He's cutting down the trees. He likes to cut down the trees. That's how he makes his money. So Father, he doesn't know what to do. And then one day he meets a new woman, a new lady. Ooh, we don't like her. She's evil. She doesn't like children. She hates children. She always smiles. And then when Father goes to work, she hits us. And she doesn't give us food. And she makes us sit in our room all day. No, I don't like this woman. I don't like Father's new wife. She's a terrible person. And then one day she said to Father, let's take the children out to the middle of the woods. We will go for a little walk. I didn't like this idea. I thought it was a really bad idea. But Gretel wanted to go. She wanted to go for a walk in the woods. So Father and our stepmother took us out into the woods. And we were walking. We were going to have a picnic. But I looked in the picnic basket and there wasn't any food except for some bread. So I took some of the bread, right? And so we had a little bit to eat. And then stepmother said, Father and I are going to go over here and look for some birds. So why don't you and your sister Gretel take her by the hand and go over there and wait for us. Close your eyes and count to 100. And so we counted, and when we opened our eyes, we couldn't find Father and stepmother. They were gone. Where were they? Gretel began to cry, but I was very smart. As we were walking, I was dropping little stones on the ground, karaman, little stones. So I was able to follow the stones home, and we were able to go home. And when we came home, we opened the door, and Father was so happy to see us. But stepmother, she looked very angry with us. I don't know. I think there's something. I don't think she likes us. I think she wanted us to be in that forest. Thank God we had the little rocks and some bread to eat, so we have some bread. I'm keeping some of the bread, just a little bit for later, just in case. So the next day, stepmother says, let's go to the woods again, but let's go further. I didn't like this. But Gretel wanted to go. She wanted to go further in the woods. Maybe she would see some animals, like a deer or a rabbit. So we started walking, but this time I took little pieces of bread, and I would drop the bread on the ground, just in case something happened. And guess what? When we got further into the woods, the stepmother asked us to close our eyes, and this time we had to count until 200. I kept looking, but I couldn't see her. And then when we finished at 200, they were gone. But I said to Gretel, don't worry, I put bread on the ground. And we went out and we went looking for the bread, but the bread was gone. What happened to the birds? The birds had eaten the bread, and we didn't know where we were. Little Gretel began to cry, and I wanted to cry too. But I didn't want to do that. I had to be strong. I was the older brother. I was 8 years old. I had to be very brave. So we sat out in the woods. We had a little bit of bread left, but soon there was no bread, and I began to cry too. Where will we go? What will we do? So we started to walk. I took little Gretel's hand, and I said, don't worry. And we started to walk, and suddenly we saw a house. It was a beautiful house. And I said, oh, maybe we could go in and get warm. And we went to the door and we knocked, and there was no one there. But we were so hungry, and when I put my hand on the house broke. And I smelled, and the house was made out of cookies. It was a Pechania house. It was gingerbread. So we began eating, and then there was candy on the wall, and we began eating all this candy. And soon our stomachs were full of candy. Then we heard a voice. Who is at my house? And we didn't like the voice. We got very afraid. And as we looked over, there was a witch, a Baba Yaga. She had a big nose. Oh, my little children. Oh, I love little children. Oh, you seem so hungry. Oh, why don't you come inside? Oh, but our first mother said, never go with a strange person, but we were so hungry. I didn't like this witch. She reminded me of stepmother. Oh, I didn't like that. But I was so hungry we had to go inside. So I took little Gretel and we went into the house. And as we went into the house, she sat us down and she gave us tea and more cakes. And she would just give us more and more food. And we stayed there for 5 days eating, and we got nice and fat. And every day she would pinch my cheek. Oh, little Hansel, you are getting so big and so big. And I'm getting so hungry. I didn't like this. And I tried to leave in the night. But the door was, we could not open the door. And the witch was there, and she said, where are you going, my dearies? Oh, you must not go outside. There are some very wild animals like big bears and wolves ready to eat you. So we could not escape. We were stuck in the house. And the next day, we went down for breakfast, but there was no cakes. There was nothing for breakfast. But there was a table, and there was one plate with no plates for 2 little children. And the woman said, I want to cook something in the oven today, but it is very dirty. She said, Hansel, can you climb into the oven to clean the oven for me? I didn't like this. And Gretel was, oh, it's a game. She thought it was a game. She said, she told me to go in the oven and we're going to clean the oven. We'll make it a game. I didn't like this. Something strange was happening. The oven was on. It was hot. Why do I want to go into a hot oven? But the woman made us go. She opened it. She said, look closer. You must go in and clean. And as I got closer, she came closer. And I said, oh, no, I can't see. I said, where do you... And she showed me. She tried to point and say where I must go. And when she did that, I pushed her in the oven, and I closed the oven, and I closed the door. And Gretel and I ran out into the woods. And as we ran, we heard our father's voice. And our father came, and he rescued us from the old woman. We were so happy. And when we got home, we found out that stepmother had died. Father was sad, but we were very happy. And we lived the rest of our lives just with our father, happily ever after. Okay. So, I just told you a